Your thoughts and your interpretation of events control everything in life. Life is an inside-out process, not an outside-in process. In an outside-in mentality, your thoughts and emotions are dependent on external events outside of your control. When you have an inside-out process, you control your thoughts, which then control your emotions in life, which leads to better actions and results. The external events that are out of your control are neutral. It is only the interpretation that you give them which gives them meaning. The interpretation of those events are dictated by your thoughts and your thoughts only. Your thoughts trigger images and pictures, which then trigger emotions in your head. These images and emotions trigger actions that you want to take because of the emotions. Your actions then have consequences and results that determine your life. For example, if you think of success and confidence, you will feel strong and content. You perform better at whatever you attempt. Let's use the example that your longtime significant other breaks up with you. Most people think that life works this way. Your significant other breaks up with you, which is a neutral event that you do not have complete control over. That event triggers an emotion. Most people would feel something like sadness, depression, or loneliness. That emotion then leads to harmful action like binge drinking, fighting, hitting objects, missing work, etc. Those actions obviously have negative consequences. I argue that life really happens this way. There is an external event that happens which is out of your control. We have a thought about that external event. That thought then triggers ideas, pictures, and images, which then triggers emotions, which then trigger certain actions which have consequences. So the thought acts as a filter that triggers the emotion and then starts the chain reaction. So using the same situation with your long-term significant other breaking up with you, that breakup is an event that you cannot completely control, but you can control the interpretation of the event. Most people will interpret the event as a negative situation. They might think thoughts like, what am I going to do with my life? I'm not good enough. I feel so empty. But what I'm saying is you can flip that and interpret it into a positive event. Instead, you could have thoughts like, it's too bad it's over, but I'll find a better partner. We didn't work out, but everything will be okay. That's where we could be empowered as humans. If we can control the interpretation of our thoughts, then we can control anything in our mind. What I'm saying is we can choose to be happy, sad, fearful, or confident. That's all your decision. Next time you run into a negative situation that makes you feel negative, flip the interpretation of the event and make that situation a positive one. That's why I argue life is an inside-out process, not an outside-in process, because our thoughts and attitude toward everything dictate how life will turn out. 3 mentalities that you want to adopt that could change your life is the first one, trade your expectations for appreciation. The second one, everything will be okay. And the last one, everything I do, I win. Here are 3 mentalities you could have in your life that will always keep you in a positive mindset. The first one is from the great Tony Robbins. He said, trade your expectations for appreciation. Whenever people are upset, it's because their expectations are not met. When people are content with their life, it's because they have appreciation or gratitude. So a great way to always stay in a positive attitude is to trade your expectations for appreciation. Stop having expectations for people, places, and events, and just be grateful for what you already have and for what has occurred. We cannot expect our expectations for people or events to always be met. We're not always in control of that, but we are in control of our gratitude and our mindset. The second mentality you have is the mantra, everything will be okay. Yes, it sounds very simple, but think about how many times this mentality could be applied to your thoughts. As humans, we constantly worry about if things will work out. Will I get the job I always wanted? I hope my new friends like me. Will this risk I took pan out? Will I get that thing I always wanted? Will this relationship work out? Will I ever be healthy again? It is imperative to remind yourself, everything will be okay. Life is not always that serious, and things have a natural way of working itself out. Nothing positive will ever come from fear, worry, or anxiety anyway, so why put energy into them? Always remember, whatever circumstance in life happens, everything will be okay. The third and last mentality is a step up from the second mentality. Not only will everything be okay, but everything that happens to you, you win. This last mentality is all about interpretation. It's about interpreting neutral or negative events and finding the positive in them. It's about finding how you have learned or how you have grown from a neutral or negative event. It's about saying whatever has happened or will happen, I will have become better from those circumstances because in some way I learned or grew. This last mentality is about having optimism. It's about saying no matter what happens, if my expectations were not met, if I fail, I still gain something out of it or the experience, and I still won that experience. To summarize what I talked about, remember, events in your life, people, and circumstances are all neutral. It is your interpretation of them that gives them meaning. So you get to choose if they're negative or positive. So make sure you make that right choice. And the 3 mentalities I talked about is trade your expectations for appreciation, everything will be okay, and everything I do, I win. Thank you.